Hello.
Hello.
Good grief. What are they doing to me here? Oh, there we go. I was going to show everybody hello and welcome to
Hello.
Cockatood. Hello, welcome to Cockatood, Cockatoos with Attitude. And I'm going to show you that little video I spent an hour and a half on, which is an amazing time frame considering a newbie using DaVinci Resolve. But here you go.
Step into the ring, hearts ignite, shadows dance beneath the lights, every breath a promise, every beat.
It was there and then now it's gone.
Yeah, I know.
Step into the ring, hearts ignite, shadows dance beneath the lights, every breath a promise.
Nope, not going to play. Yeah, they got bugs going. Now they've got bugs going. So
Technology always lets you down.
it does. Let me
Oh.
try it. Let me try it in portrait mode.
Step into the ring, hearts ignite, shadows dance beneath the lights, every breath a promise.
Nope, not going to play, but it's out there. You guys
It's
can.
always breaking after second 10. That's a shame.
Yeah, well, what can you say? I put it up there so that people could see it. It's only for members otherwise, so I was going to put it on here so people could see it who watch the videos. But
Yeah,
otherwise,
that was a great idea.
it's
Become
in
a member and you can see it that way.
Yeah, well, I wanted everybody to see it who comes out here, even those who didn't. But that's the way it goes. So, but it's a minute and a half.
Has it uploaded fully? Probably it should have because it's in the list, but I just don't trust it.
I don't trust it either. I may try uploading it from the computer and see if there was some problem with uploading it from the phone. It's never been good uploading from the phone, but I gave it a try. We'll try again next time. But it does have a pretty good little fight in there with, you can guess it's one of the ones with the little yellow crest that starts the fight. So, oh, that would make me cry too. Let's see. Focus. I got to put the focus on, folks. I don't mind meeting. Otherwise, I'm going to be interrupted constantly. There we go.
Well, we can say hi to our chatters because we've got some who've already arrived. We've got Tiki Tiki and Calvin Thurston and Rosebud Atkins and Falcon Sue. So hello, you guys. Lovely
Hello,
to see
everybody.
Great to have you, everybody.
We have these crew number 2 out. We have Sugar and KK and Cecil. Yeah, Lucy and Snowball. Snowball. And Jasmine. Crew number 2. They try harder, don't they? He seems a little more. He was beating me up yesterday, so he must be feeling a little better. He had a piece of wood and he was hammering me all over the place with it. Weren't you, big boy? I spoke with local vet again and talked to the inventory manager there and explained that, about the disease so she could get an idea. And I said, It's kind of like AIDS. You have to keep taking the medicine forever. So we're going to need to make sure there's a supply for us, because if they don't get it, it's basically putting them on the in the electric chair. Except the electric chair doesn't. They won't die quite the same. They die that way, but slowly. So I'm crossing my fingers they get all that taken care of. And they're going to contact Dr. Jenkins and see if they can find out what the prescription is supposed to be to block the lipids that into his liver. So right now he's on over-the-counter stuff, which is recommended by the vet, but it's hard enough to find those in liquid form. With actual, you can't just buy it if it says like the name milk thistle on it. You can't buy that. It's got to actually tell you the amount. Then you have to make sure it doesn't have any alcohol in it. Glycerin is the best and the least additives that you can find. So that and a product called Sam E. He's on both of those. And they're all grumpy because they're on a different diet now. So, although this one has eaten Harrison's before, he's eaten Harrison's before. Snowball's eaten Harrison's. Lucy has too. So, Jasmine hasn't before, although she's eating them. And KK hasn't. So, we're on day 7 now, which means that there's 3 parts of their old food and 7 parts of the new food. So they're grumpy as they want to eat more. They want to eat more, but the chef isn't. They've asked the chef to bring out ham and an omelet, and instead they're getting a boiled egg. It's just not. It's not really what they want. So.
It's probably when you compare it for humans, or when you are on your 3rd day on a cabbage soup diet, you have probably the same mood.
Yeah, well, they treat it like hospital food, and if you've been to U.S. hospitals, if the doctors don't kill you, the food will. These trained nutritionists that send you the food, I don't know what they're trained in, but I think they're trained in food. What's a good term for it? And how to cook food so it's tasteless and has no nutrition.
It's like anti-gourmet.
Oh, you don't even want to go in one of those places here. You want to stay away from the hospitals in the U.S.
That's probably what they intend to. Like, the food is so bad that you want to go or to leave as soon as possible.
You can die for free somewhere else. You don't need to go to hospital and pay for the privilege.
Yeah, and what they charge you for the food, you could go to a grade A gourmet restaurant, on a 20th floor of some high-rise building, and have to get dressed up in a tux to pay that kind of money. I used to do that once a year, not the tux, but go to a fancy restaurant. The Atlantis, which used to be next to SeaWorld, they actually were a grade A restaurant, but you didn't have to dress up for it because people came from SeaWorld. So you could go there in a pair of boxer shorts and a t-shirt. It didn't matter. We'd usually dress up for it and spend a lot of money just to have one great meal that year. But these guys just don't think they're acting like I'm not feeding them is what they're acting like. They dig through the little things in there they like. They eat the birdie bread, even the ones that weren't eating the birdie bread are eating it now. And then they eat the little bit of the other food that's in there. And like I threw in an almond today, and they ate that. And then they look around like, I don't know what this other stuff is, but I'm not eating it.
Oh, careful, darling, mind your head. Oh, my microphone's on. Sorry, guys.
No problem.
It's all right. It just provides some entertainment.
Yeah, so Sonny just got out of my lap and stood on the floor, and then immediately headbutted her high chair, which is in front of me. So that wasn't the best thing to do. But she didn't scream, so I think she was fine.
So
Oh, be
let's greet
careful.
Lisa Banerjee, who is with us. So hello.
Oh, hello, Lisa. What are you doing down there? Are you feeling any better? You're relaxing again? Don't feel that good, do you, buddy?
Hmm.
Well, I'm glad that we're edging into the fall weather here, because I can keep the windows open for at least an hour in the morning and put the big fans up and blow it through, because he needs all the oxygen he can get. And we have 3 commercial humidifiers, so they got the humidity outside was unreadable, so less than 10%. So we got it back up to 35% in a matter of about an hour. So in other words, we blew about 6 gallons of water into the air. So today we're going to be talking about feathers, beaks, and big hearts. And big livers, unfortunately, huh, big boy? Why our birds are bio marvels. Are you marvelous? This is a marvelous bird. A Cecil bird. What are you doing? Oh, are you going to sneak back there? I don't know about you, KK.
He's cute.
He's got to find a place to hide. Go dig.
Yep. He likes his little hiding spots.
He does. They're all so different. Every personality is different. Cecil is big, normally big, boisterous, but also cuddly. Also, he preens other birds. He's got a lot of different personalities, this boy, but lately he's been kind of down.
Oh boy.
He hangs on the side of his cage. That's the easiest way to breathe. So he'll hang on the side of his cage for a while. Yeah, so when you're dealing with rescued cockatoos, they've all got stories, but you just can't believe the stories about where they came from, right? The only one we actually know is Lorelei, and that's because I was a tabla rasa, a blank slate. I'd been reading a book about parrots. I was reading Parrots for Dummies by Nikki Mustafi, and that's when I got this bird had to be picked up because nobody took her, she was going to be. They didn't say what, but today I would say they were going to probably release her into the wild, which would have killed her. So, and then like so many people out there, I felt sorry for her. Maybe, I knew she was neutered, so I thought maybe she'd want to. It's not really neutered, but she's unable to lay eggs. I can't neuter a parrot, but so I thought, oh, she needs a baby. Oh, geez. I was still thinking like somebody on the internet. And so Lorelei came along. She was only 3 months old. She was my bird until she reached adulthood and started ripping her feathers out. So then she became part of the sanctuary.
She still has a special relationship with her daddy.
Yep. Yeah, she still does. Don't you, girl?
The destroyer of earbuds and zippers and buttons.
Yep. She kind of when Lucy is sitting like that, she kind of looks like Lorelei. Not exactly, but no, you don't. She opens her eyes. She doesn't. Her eyes are different.
Lucy's look like, nope, I don't look like Lorelei.
Yeah.
So sweet.
Most people wouldn't be able to tell the difference, but you guys have been around a while. You can tell one from the other. Right, Snowball?
Yeah, it's funny. It went like one day I couldn't tell them all apart, and then on one day it suddenly flipped, and I was like, oh, suddenly I know who's who without having to think about it. It was really weird.
Mm.
It's like something just clicked in your brain.
Yep. Somewhere along the line, you that part of your brain that recognizes facial faces,
The right
which
fusiform gyrus.
there you go. It clicks in and it starts recognizing them.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, they have some things in common. They all breathe alike. You know, they have air sacs and which act like bellows, and and they also have muscles to exhale instead of inhale like we do, like mammals do. That's what helps them fly. They have those eyes that can spot a hawk at a couple of miles away. I've seen it happen. I can't see anything, and they can see that animal like it's right up close. So, and they have those powerful beaks that do have blood supply, so you don't want them to be damaged. I mean, they're pretty hardy, but they have a tongue that has a bone in it, which our tongues don't. And our tongues don't have both intrinsic and extrinsic muscles, so we can't. I've actually watched Cecil do things that I've only seen people do with extreme difficulty, like tying the stem of a cherry in a knot. I mean, for a human being to do that is an exceptional act. For one of these guys, it's like, what are you talking about? We can all do that, but why would we?
Do you mean doing that with your tongue or in
Yeah,
general?
with your tongue.
Is there
I knew.
any human that can tie a
Yeah,
cherry
yeah,
stalk in a knot with the tongue? What the hell?
yeah. I've known two people who could do that. Yep.
That's wild.
But for them, with that bone, and I mean, it's like more like a finger than a tongue, and it can do incredible things like that. And Cecil does that with toys. He makes his own toys, and they all have special abilities. But he'll take toys and put them together using that tongue. So it's not more than a tongue to them. It's like a finger. Actually, the closest thing they have to a finger, their toes only move. Toes only do this. They can't do that. That looks weird to them. They don't expect that. This is the way their foot moves. But still, they can grab onto something and hold a spoon to their face, which you walk out and see somebody's got a dog and they walk out and see the dog holding a spoon, eating their breakfast, and the dog says, "Good morning," you'd probably have a heart attack. But that's the kind of thing people with birds, we deal with that kind of thing all the time.
Look at these two friendos.
Yeah. And the way their lungs work with that, the fact that the muscles push the air out in the air in the environment, the actual air pressure pushes the lungs open, um, makes it so they can scream for hours, which, if you don't take care of your bird properly, is something you'll end up with. Or if you're rehoming, if you're bringing in an adopted bird from a rescue, you may get one that does that. It doesn't mean that you have to live with it. Right now, Bob has started that up again, but that's because he has things in his food bowl he doesn't want. Even though he's eaten them before, he wants his old food. So he yells at me. And I yell back at him because I know he's eventually going to stop doing this. It's all over food. Once he starts eating the Harrisons, he'll quiet down again. But
When it comes to screaming, is it true that they can breathe in while screaming?
well, they don't use muscles to breathe in. So if they are uh, actually, Snowball does it while he's talking.
Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
like if you're going then you can be breathing in more air for your next So that's why
Hmm.
they can go for hours.
Yeah, because the outer air is pushing in against it. Yeah, it doesn't take long for them to fill their lungs. That's another reason you don't want to take your birds up to high altitude, though, because as the air pressure drops, it's harder for them to breathe. There are parrots that live in high areas. There aren't many, but there are some, and they've adapted to that, so their lung capacity is bigger. But with these guys, if you take them from 14 pounds of pressure down to 9, they're going to be like the cars. The old cars, they had to be my age, but you were driving up into the mountains and you were a mechanic. What you would do is you get about halfway up there and you'd adjust the carburetor. We don't even have carburetors anymore, but you would adjust it because your engine would be going from sounding like to sounding like because it wasn't getting enough air.
Mhm.
um,
I think we calculated it once, didn't we? We worked out that in terms of oxygen per minute, that me and salamander have the same oxygen requirements.
yeah, that's true.
So if you ever take your bird in a plane and there's a cabin depressurization, then you need an extra oxygen mask or 3 for the bird.
Yep. Yeah, you do. They won't last long without air.
Yeah. What's so funny? Why are you going? I've got my little sidekick. She is making all kinds of noises. What are you doing?
She's asking for her karate lessons. I want my karate lessons and I want them on my iPhone. See, I think that was a winner. She's going for that.
She's going ma 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 ma.
Yeah, I saw a cockatoo out on Shangshu, that app. It was saying "mama" and chasing after their caretaker.
Was it Chailakan too?
Yeah, yeah, yep. Although in China they don't call them cockatoos. The common name is a sunflower. So
I think I have now started the movie quote. Is that right for today? This city is headed for a disaster of biblical proportions.
yeah, that's the movie
Okay,
quote.
because you have forgotten to start it, so I started it. I was
Oh,
just not sure if it's the right for today, so I wanted to ask first.
that's the quote.
Okay, so guys, if anyone has any idea, you can guess in the chat and I give it to Don. Also, if you have any questions or want just to make a statement or anything to Don, put it in the chat.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time watching movies, a lot of it with parrots and with Romeo, but now I can't do that because there's a certain bird named Cosmo that won't let me sit there and watch a movie with Romeo. So she will just squawk the whole time if I sit with Romeo on my lap. So I could break that, but at this point, that half hour is more important to him. So I in order to break it, I would have to disturb his time, and I can't do that at this point.
So we have already our first guess from Warm Fuzzy Vibes. The guess is the day after tomorrow.
Nope, that's not right, but it's a good guess. I have to give you.
We also
Go
have
ahead.
Buktia Shah in chat. So hello and welcome.
Yeah. I'm supposed to give another clue along with that. Let me think. Harold Ramis is in it. So they all got feathers. Feathers, they insulate them. Yeah, so they're great for if it's hot or if it's cold. Um, they're waterproof, and they use them for displays for showing their emotions. Everything from being disgruntled or surprised to territorial to happy. Like Cecil right now has got feathers across his lower beak, which means he's relaxed, but I don't think he's relaxed in a good way because his eyes are oval. He's probably still having a little difficulty breathing. Plenty of fresh air in here, but that's the thing. Fresh air is important to him right now, but also humidity. So got to get those. I'm glad I have 3 of those humidifiers to get the humidity back up quickly. But they're supposed to do a whole house, but this is a rather large place. So it takes 3 of them to get them back up in an hour. So from almost nothing to 35%. What are you doing there, buddy?
Next guess from Warm Fuzzy Vibes, Ghostbusters.
You got it. That's it.
Excellent.
Well done. Well done. We need a little video for that too when somebody gets it right.
Yeah, some kind of epical bird movie compilation.
That wouldn't be tough to do.
Yep, we need a little video for that.
Yeah, I can make one. I'm feeling more confident in that environment now. I mean, it's kind of like somebody who's just learned to drive. So I mean, I'm not looking to drive across the country. I'm trying to make short hops on it now because when I do run into a problem, I have to go through a bunch of learning process. So I have learned how to balance the volume, which if you looked at that screen, you go, what are you looking at? Because I mean, there's all these different things that are all lighting up all across the screen and all these different switches and things you can flip. And I learned to do that. But so I'll make one of those. Yeah, Ghostbusters still one of, and you know what? Romeo loves that movie. So, and I noticed that Manda really he sits and watches it too. So it's funny what they watch. You'd think they'd like the cartoons and the kiddie stuff, but no, they don't. You put a kids movie up there, and they're just not interested. They do like movies about parrots to some degree, but as far as the kiddie movies, no.
They've got refined taste.
I don't know. They like the action movies. The Terminator. They like Terminator. How's that for weird?
It's a great movie.
Yeah, they like that Terminator too, and then the Dark Fate. They like that one. What I mean by like is they watch it. They don't look disturbed at all. They just they sit there and pay attention to it. That's what I would call liking it. If you put on one of those little kiddie movies, I've tried things like all I can think of is super fragilistic cats, but no, others. Movies like that are meant for kids. Yeah.
No, Mary Poppins is a great movie, and I won't have you say otherwise.
No, but they don't want to watch it. They're not
Yeah.
interested in it.
Fair enough. It's because they think Dick Van Dyke's accent is terrible.
Well, it might be, but oh, the worst accent I ever heard was Jodie Foster. She was trying to do French in what's the name of that movie? It's a sci-fi movie, but and she was horrible at it. They should have stopped it from the beginning. She was that was the worst accent I've ever heard, other than a few politicians I've heard. The one from Finland, his accent, I wish he would just speak in Finnish. Guys, I can't stand to listen to him. But no, I don't know why they don't like those kind of movies. They don't. I won't say they don't like musicals because they do seem to like the stage production of Sweeney Todd. Not so much the movie. The movie is a little bloodier than Sondheim and intended. So, and they're not really into a bunch of gore. They like action, but they're not into gory movies. So, not that I give them that much of that to look at, but it doesn't seem to bother them. But they don't pay attention to it. Like mysteries, don't you? They like Hitchcock films. It's probably the way they're filmed and the kind of background sounds they use that draw their attention. I'm guessing. What? What? I touched it, so now you don't want it? I didn't mean to make you not want it. I thought you were going to have fun with it, but then I touched it and you dropped it. You want me to hold it? I can do it. I could. So, I mean, with feathers, you can see it on Lucy when she puts her crest up, which she won't do right now, but she gets her crest up and bounces her head. I mean, they're so expressive when they do the crest, which is when they're excited. So, hi, Jazz. She goes, "You're trying to get me in trouble. I can't come down right now." It's going to ignore me because KK is down here. Yeah, you look at someone like Snowball, he likes to play. So when you open his cage door, what he tries to do is get you involved in playing frisbee or, throwing the ball so he can go run after it, that kind of thing. That's what he wants to do. But with Jasmine, she runs around like a crazy bird. And then she does gymnastics. I mean, she does flips and things on over here. And then we have the queen, Sugar, who likes to sit on her perch. She plays in her cage, but here she mostly just sits on the perch in here, like the queen that's in charge of everything. And she comes over and wants to have her beak petted. And the personalities are nowhere similar. KK likes to hide. Yeah, he does. He's a little chatterbox. Don't you, boy? Aren't you a chatterbox? Are you going to dance? KK going to dance? Yesterday, he was insistent on taking the scabs off my arm, so I had to put bandages over the scabs I have on my arm. Otherwise, I'd be bleeding again. They have this thing about cleaning you up. If you have anything like a scab on you, they'll take it off. Mander did that with one of our volunteers one time. The guy had a mole on his arm that he was going to have taken off the next week, and his Mander went over and pulled it right off. Didn't even bleed. And the volunteer looks over at me and he goes, "Well, that saved me $300." So, yeah, you gonna say something? What are you gonna say? They can't hear you. I'm sorry, but this silly thing blocks your voice out. Apparently, the only way to change that is to use the computer to start the video and then to come in with the phone afterwards. It's dumb. I've got to talk to those folks. They've got to make it so you guys can hear the birds. That's kind of silly. I think with Zoom we could do that, but the quality of the video on Zoom is pretty bad. Cecil, you're sitting on my pad, notes to make sure that I go through everything I want to. Oh, and that's another thing. As far as diet goes, they all have different things they like. This one down here likes almonds. Okay, he wants a banana chip, so he gets a little tiny piece of banana chip. We're talking, not even a snack size. But Cecil likes the Cecil. Snowball likes the birdie bread. Lucy likes a little piece of cashew. This one way back there, Jasmine, she likes edamame. And I don't know about you. Oh, she likes cashews, but her taste varies from day to day, but she does like cashews. And this one likes pistachios. And that's a problem because they're awfully high fat. So he gets one once a week. So you're talking about varied tastes, right? Now, if you give him a pistachio and it's not in the shell, he won't eat it. So he has to take it out of the shell himself. Don't you? This one will eat an almond without taking it out of the shell. The problem with almonds in the shell is sometimes, spiders and things get in there or pantry moth eggs. So it's better to buy them. But if you buy them like from Costco or in bulk, you have to freeze them so that if there's any eggs or anything, it kills the eggs. Because that's not uncommon. The same with walnuts. They need to be frozen at least 3 days before you open up the bag. And then, you dole them out and you put them back in the freezer. So I always throw in one of those silica gel packs too. What you doing, Cecil? Let me change the camera here. You're going to be sitting on my shoulder, whacking me with a toy. And, their feet, they have these zygodactyl feet where they can grab things and hold on to them, which other animals can't do. Opposable toes on their feet. Oh. Hmm. So they use them for climbing. They use them to hold things while they eat until they're chewing down till they get to the handle, which is when you get to the messy part of the food, they just drop it. Oh, I forgot to mention the most important thing about their beaks. They're called hook bills for a reason. If you watch them in the aviary, you'll see that when they climb, they use that hook bill to grab everything. It is their method of climbing and holding on to things. They use it for a lot of different stuff, as well as cracking nuts and seeds, which in captivity, they shouldn't get too many nuts or seeds, especially seeds. Exceptions being quinoa. So that's actually not a bad seed for them if it's mixed into their mash. Now with Cecil, I can walk out of this room and he won't sneak into anything. He may sneak up to go butter sugar. He'll do that sometime. But with Bob, he's the real sneak around here. What he'll do if I try to walk out of the room is he'll find something to mess up. Or if he can get something out of my pocket and destroy it, he'll do that. And he'll do it like, I'm not doing anything. It's funny how their personalities are so different. And you can see that in some of the wild cockatoos. You see some of those videos. There's lots of videos out there where people are in parks with cockatoos, especially in Australia, or not so much in Indonesia because it's it's one canopy of trees there. But you'll see that they have a lot of different personalities, and sometimes someone will name them. They'll start naming all the birds. I've seen quite a few birds that got a nickname for what they do. One video I recently saw, and this cockatoo was grabbing onto this lady. She was in pants, and grabbing onto the pants and using it to climb up to get a treat. You having fun? Feeling a little better right now? Cecil feeling a little bit like Cecil. Mhm. So one of the things to try to keep these guys healthy is I have to make sure the air quality is good. So when I do open the windows and I flush the air through here with our big hurricane fans, I have to check the air quality. Plus, I have to stick my nose out there too, because you never know when somebody in the neighborhood might be running a generator or something like that, and they got diesel in the air. So, got to check the air quality. The humidity, I have to keep an eye on that, and I have separate temperature and humidity thermometers throughout the house. So I can tell if the humidity is low in one area, it's going to start lowering it in other areas. So that's why I have 3 humidifiers going. I have to make sure they have enough toys. This one down here, he will tell you if he's chewed all the wood off his toys. And he can do that in a half hour. So if he decides to just chew them all up and there's nothing left, he will hang on the side of his cage and he will start going, "Rah, rah." There goes his crest. I'm emanating him, his crest goes up. Um, so he'll start doing that. And I know that means I want more toys. If I notice that his toys are almost all chewed up at night, I'll leave them that way, because in the morning he'll start crying and I can give him his medicine easier. Although he's much better about doing it now. Originally, he would try to take my hand off whenever I tried to give him medicine, but now he'll even let me do it in the cage. But I like to get him out and let him on the cart where I have everything. Now I have to take everything off the cart because now he'll start throwing things around. But he can play around on there while I'm giving medicine to everyone else. But over time, they develop this ability to realize that you're busy. So if I'm giving it to Sugar, when she was getting peanut butter, it took a long time to give her medicine. She would be slow about it. But now that she's getting almond butter, this morning when I went to pet her, she looked at me like, "Why don't you just give me the almond butter?" So, and it takes a lot less almond butter to mix with her medicine for some reason. So it does gel up a little easier. So she'll finish that in about 20 seconds, where before it was 2 to 3 minutes. He would see me going to give that to her, and then he'd start doing something like trying to climb off them. He can fly, but he'll try to climb down so he can go around and harass everybody, including me. Won't you? Won't you? Boy. Diesel. So you have to keep their environment clean. That's the cage cleaning and clean the bars on the bottom of the cage. And some of them he has to have some paper in his cage because he likes to get under it. And then the same with this one. So I have to keep that clean, change it whenever it needs to be changed. I've gone to a type of newspaper without print, so I can tell if there's a problem with their poop. If you put newspaper down there, yeah, it's safe, but you can't tell if their poop's okay by looking at it. So now we buy the paper from Uline, and it's a bit expensive to have it shipped. $30 to ship it here, but when I look down, I can see if there's a problem with their poop. So then you got to weigh them, and you got to trim their nails, and you got to trim some beaks, like this one, his beak, because he's got scissor beak, right, KK? Mhm. And then I've just adjusted their food because there's some things I was putting in their food which weren't a good idea. I was putting some corn in there, no corn at all. They're not supposed to get any kind of uh, corn. Now, Harrison's has some corn in it, but that's a different matter. It's whole corn. It's organic. It's been, they test it before it goes in there. But yeah, you don't want to buy frozen corn or corn on the cob and give it to them because it may have aflatoxin. It's actually more likely that corn on the cob will have aflatoxin than peanut butter, believe it or not. So to be careful with all grains. Any kind of grain you have has to be refrigerated or frozen. Lots of little things you have to do. The medicine for Cecil and cause has to be in a cooler at 5 degrees centigrade. Basically, a diabetic cooler. The Haldol's put in a cooler. It's actually I converted a wine cooler by putting in a heating rod in there too. So and it keeps it at the right temperature. And I have an external temperature controller that turns on the cooler if necessary in the actual wine box, and then it'll turn on the heater if it gets too cold. Keeps it right at around 72 degrees Fahrenheit, of course. About 21.5 centigrade. That's all hooked up to a battery backup in case the power goes out. And then we have a solar generator outside and a gas generator as well. So the little things you have to think about if you got parrots. Then the air has to be kept clean of their air dust, which is almost impossible. So you've got to have HEPA filters or the kind of filters I make, which I put together now. A box fan with a 20-inch MERP8 filter on it. Those have to be blown out every other day, and it looks like Christmas. So much dust. And of course, you have to spend time with them out of their cages, or they'll go insane. You would too, right, KK?
They're such cute little boys, aren't they?
They are.
Such a pretty picture.
They are good boys. Let's look at the sleeping birds. Oh, you're not sleeping? Oh, she's got that look. Are we about done so I can get my beak patted? Not quite yet, Chig. Such an insistent look.
She's got her Dumbo ears out. Yeah, she has quite the backstory of that one, doesn't she?
Oh, she sure does. Well, the people who had her really cared for her, but they didn't understand how to care for her. So, they were feeding her things like Frosted Flakes and kids cereals and stuff. And that's what she wanted to eat. I tried to feed her real food. No, I don't want any of that.
Don't want that bird food.
And she would have gone to a place that doesn't exhibit birds that have missing feathers. So if a bird had a missing feathers, they would just stick it in the back room, throw food at it, and give it no entertainment. But they'd take your $1,000, to do that. Fortunately, they wouldn't take her back. So with Chloe, they wouldn't take Chloe back because she was missing so many feathers. And I guess they were going to take her for that gigantic fee, but I got her instead. And she had a beautiful head like she does now, but the rest of her body looked like it was like she'd been thrown into a wood chipper. I'm talking about you. Yeah.
She says, whatever you do, don't show them the photo.
Yeah. He was a
We've
mess.
seen it, Shag.
He was a mess. And so stubborn. She just didn't want to do anything I told her to do, Especially the collars. She hated the collars. Well, you can't say she hated because I don't think they really have that, but she didn't tolerate them well, is the best way to put it. She did everything she could to tear them off. She chewed on them until I got leather ones. I got plastic ones. I put plastic and leather together. I tried material ones where you basically have a collar that is a material. I tried the ones that are like a round ball that you put on their neck. Now she could still reach her chest. So without the medicine, she wouldn't be with us. And I think the only reason that medicine is controversial is because what they teach you in school here wouldn't qualify you as a janitor in most countries. A good friend of mine put it bluntly as it's not the public school system, it's the public fool system, because they want you to be ignorant. So most people come out of high school with almost no knowledge of biology, no knowledge about the environment, no knowledge about history, music, archaeology. I mean, all the wonderful things you can know about. They come out with nothing. So it's no wonder they don't understand, what a medicine like that will do for a bird, but they seem to understand. A lot of people understand what it means to drink a wine cooler or drink when you get off work, you have a beer or a wine cooler. They know how that calms you, but when you say you have to give a medicine to the bird to calm them down or to keep them from hurting themselves, we don't want to do that. As they drink their beer and smoke their cigarette, right? Do you agree with that? You do? I think KK agrees with that.
Well, I think Shug wants some wine along with her Haldol.
Yeah, she wants to get petted.
Ooh, wine.
If she's smart, she knows right now it's not likely to happen. So as soon as this phone gets put down, she's going to be over here. Her foot will come down and she'll come right over to the edge and she'll stare at me first. She tries to do it. She doesn't whine at first. She'll come over and just look at me. And if I don't pay attention to the look, then she'll start whining. What, Cecil? That's quite the look you're giving me. Whoops. Try again. Stop. No, he's not looking at me. He was giving me his patented Cecil stare a minute ago. Like, what do you think you're doing? Yeah, some things you have to do. You don't really want to. I mean, it's not like I'm looking forward to having to give him injections for the rest of his life. That's not. But I would like to have him around for years to come. And it's hard enough to get someone to give oral medication to a bird, let alone injections. And this is so large, he has to get it on. I have to give him half on one side and half on the other. Right? Not feeling good, buddy boy.
Well, he's very brave. He's taking it like a champ.
Oh, he is. It's not much fun to do it when it's just you, nobody else to hold the bird. You have to restrain them yourself and do it without making them feel like they're trying to hurt him or something. Cecil knows I'm not going to hurt him, but still, it looks odd to him that I'm doing something where he can feel a little spark of pain, but you can't say, "Oh, this is going to hurt just a little bit." You can say it, but they won't understand it, right? You do well, though, don't you, baby? Yeah, you do well. Cecil. Try not to chew my leg off, please. Thank you. He found something on my leg that should come off in his mind, so he's trying to take it off. What are you doing? Well, thank you guys for being here. Thank you, Amy and Eleanor, for moderating.
Yeah, thank you for showing us the birds. Marvelous creatures.
We'll try that video one more time, but it probably won't work.
Shall I?
Step into the ring, hearts ignite, shadows dance beneath the lights, every breath a promise, every beat alive, drawing strength to stand, refusing to hide. Feel the power surging through, all your dreams are on cue. Tonight you fight for glory, fight for truth. Rise up, the moment calls your name. Stand tall, unleash the roaring flame. Feel the roar of every soul aligned. Victory awaits for hearts that climb. The eye of the storm, the pulse of fate. Rise up, the moment calls your name. Stand tall. Unleash the roaring flame. Feel the roar of every soul aligned. Victory is yours. The crown, the climb.
Thanks, guys. We will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Science knowledge only adds to the excitement, the mystery, and the awe of a flower.
Evidence is evidence. It's public. Everybody can look at the evidence and assess it, and eventually, if there's enough evidence, come to the same conclusion.
the Chloe Sanctuary for Parrots and Cockatoos, a nonprofit charity dedicated to the empowerment of captive parrots and public awareness.